What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest in cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who've made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams. As always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And LeVon Maynard.
Welcome to the show.
What is going on? Welcome to Tuesday's episode. So definitely tune in for Monday, where we discuss some really good stuff about just containing the damage of cybersecurity attacks. So that's definitely a good one if you have not listened to it. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll talk about mental health in our profession. And then Friday, everything else. So definitely tune in for all that stuff. Hit us up on all of our social medias, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. But without further ado, I give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. So this article is from threatpost.com, right? And it is by Nate Nelson. And the title of this one is Ransomware Deals Deathblow to 157-year-old college, right? So what this was there was an HBCU that's been operating since 1865, so 157 years, and it had to close after a combination of COVID-19 bringing down membership and ransomware, and it proved too much for it. They just couldn't make it happen, and they actually just closed down. But Illinois-based Lincoln College, which was established during the U.S. Civil War, and it's weathered two world wars, right? The Spanish flu, Great Depression, Great Recession, a fire that actually happened there. It survived that, but it couldn't survive COVID-19, right? because of low enrollment and a cybersecurity attack, right? So, and this is a fairly small school, right? Like this isn't a major university by any means, but it is an HBCU, and this just goes to show how devastating ransomware can be, right? So here's the thing: we're not going to say that alone was what put them under, right? But like it was the final nail in the coffin to make it to where they just couldn't go on anymore, right? And this happened back in March, I think it was when this actually happened. But yeah, they just had so many things that were going on for them, and we've actually talked about this before when it comes to HBCUs and how much harder it is for them to survive in this day and age, right? And it's what I see being a big thing here is like them having small, what do you call that, alumni ship? I might have just made that word up, right? I don't know what you would call it.
It works.
Yeah,
sounds pretty good.
Ship, yeah, you have a smaller alumni ship for which that can come back and donate. After they've gone out into the world, made their money or done whatever, actually giving back or being able to give back, to these universities. So they kind of fall prey to things like this, to where this is why you see them severely underfunded. They have facilities that are old. I know we brought this up before about the movie Hidden Figures, right? Was filmed at an HBCU, right? And that's to give the look, because that college had the look of the 60s, you know what I mean, when that actually took place. But yeah, this is why this is one of those things where it's sad to see, right? A school is 157 years old, right? Started for the during the Civil War, and when it comes to HBCUs, there's only like, I want to say it was like, I could be wrong on this number, but it's slightly over 100. I want to say it's like 113 or something like that we have in the country, right? But and actually, this was the second school in that town that actually shut down. Though, as I started looking more into this, there was another school that shut down before, and this is actually affecting the town now, right? So, like, you had two schools that shut down, so now you don't have these students that are putting money into the economy or doing anything there. So, like, these are the far-reaching effects of what this is. It's not just a school shutting down to where people can't go and get their education, but it's actually affecting the whole community. You know what I'm saying? So. That's just some of the devastating effects of ransomware and cybersecurity and how it can do a place in, and it's a sad thing to see. But LeVon, what you got on this, man?
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. It's really sad to hear, especially such a, historic school. It's been around for so long. But it's, we talked about it before, but cyber criminals don't really have any, there's no nothing that can't be touched, nothing that they feel, that they hold, that they cherish, that they're not willing to attack, as we've seen with, some of the previous ransomwares, besides the schools, hospitals, pipelines and food factories, all this kind of stuff. So it's like there's nothing that's sacred that they won't try to attack. And this is, a prime example. this historic college that's been around for years. But yeah, it's such a shame. But I was looking through the article. It had some information, some good information in here as well, that I was going to touch on. And when they were talking about why cyber criminals target schools, and they talked about schools include not only personal identifying information of students, faculty, and staff, but also PII of parents, donors, and other partners of the school. So it's a treasure trove of data for them. Potentially can use that to ransom other institutes, bring them to the knees. So it's like, they have an opportunity to use these schools to get information from these donors, people that have a lot of money. Even if they get, I think we talked about before, talking about hospitals, like if they hacked the hospital and got some information about somebody, like, hey, you got this sexually transmitted disease, or you got some other stuff going on with your body that you don't want other people to know about, we're going to try to ransom some money from you to not spill this information out to the public. So school's another great target for them, unfortunately, but that's one reason why they're going after the schools. And then the article also described a little bit about, how can schools protect themselves? And it's kind of tricky because the school has a lot of people that come in and out. They come with their devices, they come in with their laptops, connecting to the network. The faculty itself is connecting, to various points within the school, on the school premises, to like connect to, track grades, access student data, and all this kind of stuff. So you don't really have a great method to, keep tabs on all these devices that are connecting and what they should be connected to. And it could be hard for some cybersecurity individuals to keep that in mind and keep that protected, but still allow them the fluidity to be able to connect to where they need to get a job done. So it's just it's such a tricky scenario, especially with this being such an old school. I wonder what kind of how state of the art they were with some of their security practices as well. You would think that they are pretty privy to know that they have a lot of information that they don't want to be shared, that they have sensitive information, and that they would potentially be a target, and they put the top level security that they can to protect themselves. But who knows what situation they have themselves in. But I guess with that, I'll turn it over to you, Ryan. You have some thoughts on this situation here?
Yeah, definitely. It is a shame, especially they paid the ransom and they still had to close anyway, right? So it says that all systems required for recruitment, retention, and fundraising efforts were made inoperable, which pressured them into paying ransomers $100,000 to get their probably encryption key or whatever to get their data back, and it still took months to recover, which that was the nail in the coffin, right? And then because of coronavirus, the low enrollment, what have you, and I think that's really impactful to a lot of universities and colleges. So I'm on faculty at the local university here, and I've had a class cancel danger close due to enrollment. It's just people are tired. I mean, people are burnt out right now, so it's kind of hard to get a bunch of people to want to take a class like post pandemic, if that's even what this is right now. So like they're not bringing the money in, they're pushing $100,000 out. They can't, like all those systems are vitally important. So they just couldn't recover from it. And unfortunately, this will probably happen again to a similar sized organization. And it's really nothing you can do about it except for the money that you do have put into those resources to protect them. But again, it's a balancing act. Like who's to say they didn't need that money to do something else to try to bring in more students? So it's unfortunate. Again, don't pay your ransomers. In this case, they probably felt they had no choice but to do so. But it didn't help. It didn't stop the bleeding, and they eventually had to shut the doors anyway. So it was not, in my opinion, was not worth it. So it definitely is unfortunate. So with that being said, though, I mean, the disclosure I think will help out. Like I've seen this article circulating a lot of my different timelines of social media, so I think it'll get the message out there. Like, hey, listen, it did not work out for them, so we should also not do this. So I think that might be the only silver lining to the story is like it's a warning to similar sized colleges and universities and what have you. Like, hey, listen, like don't pay them that money.
So what this could also do, right, is this could, like, seeing this happen, maybe some of these schools will take advantage. I believe it was SZA, right? I believe it was when we had Gabe on, when they were talking about how they volunteer information for these schools to have better cybersecurity and
Right.
possibly help them with things. Like, it may, I know we're putting it out there, right? Like, we doing our part trying to put it out there to the masses, right? Just
Right.
need y'all to listen. You know what's going on over here, other side of the firewall. You know what's up, but no, like, it may steer them in that direction. Like, man, what could we do? And then all of a sudden they start reading up and be like, oh, SZA will help us with this, right? And
Right.
partnership with the FBI and things like this. Oh, they'll do this for us, or they'll help us with this, or there's these best practices that we have that we could do that don't cost us a lot. So that's the unfortunate benefit of this, right? Like,
Right.
something drastic like this has to happen for people to get out, to reach out and read and see those other things that are available to them, other tools available to them.
Yeah, which is definitely true. So hopefully some good will come out of this. But I found it a very interesting read, and like I said, it's circulating everywhere. Like, so it's definitely within those cybersecurity circles. There's definitely being people looking at this and studying it for the future. So there is that. But with that being said, please continue to tune in. Definitely check out tomorrow's episode dealing with just mental health in the profession. As well as Friday, we talk about everything else. So someone may have an evolving opinion of the last Marvel flick. With no spoilers, but we'll discuss like why I think it's better. The more I think about it, it's better than what I said it was. But definitely continue to tune in for the rest of the week. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about us, and hit up all of our social medias. They all go by our name, and hit me up personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy on LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, and Clubhouse. And you, LeVon?
Yep, you can hit me on the Twitters at LeVon Maynard.
There it is. Stay safe, stay secure.
Take care.